Welcome to Ein Sof. I'm Byron Jackson.
And I'm Jennifer O'Neill. And Ein Sof is the period before creation that was both unending and infinite.
We look at iconic figures from around the world to see what were they like before it all began. Story, Many Lives, The Many Lives of Byron Jackson. You ever see this movie called The 7 Lives of Thomasina?
No.
It's a old Walt Disney movie. It's about this cat that dies.
Oh, really?
7 times.
Oh, okay. I thought they had 9 lives.
I guess it is The 9 Lives of Thomasina. We have to look that up. Would you have your Google there? How many lives does she have?
We'll go with 9.
We'll go with 9. And it was Thomasina, I think, so.
Okay, well, that's kind of the way this is.
How are you doing since the last show?
I'm doing great.
So are you doing this with me? Okay, so my insecurity about this is that talking about myself will do either one or two things. People will either get bored into a coma, or they will hate my guts for being this really selfish prick.
Who just talks about himself?
Yeah.
There's no other options. I guess that's why they call them insecurities.
So you're taking places I hadn't even thought of yet.
Or we could take it the positive route and think maybe there's some epiphanies happening here. How does life unfold for Byron? How does it unfold for me? It could be thought-provoking.
So it has been thought-provoking for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think thinking about the different influences that you've had, and then how the development happened with you, personally, professionally, with different, just your growth process, and how that was profound in a lot of ways, not only societal wise, but also just your own personal transformation.
Spiritual.
Yeah.
So what about for you? What epiphanies you said you've had?
No, I think just thinking about the growth. I like to think about growth. I have a growth mindset, I feel like. And so I think about growth within myself. And so looking at that and how it happened for you and how it continues to happen. And that's a big thing too, is that it was a process then, but it's a process now also.
It's so interesting, coming to retirement, and people approach me like that. Suddenly my growth stops when I retire.
Really? So you've already recognized that in people's mindsets?
Yeah, they're like, oh man, you got to stay busy. And I go, no, you don't understand. I really have purpose and intent. And so I'm just taking this to a whole new level. And
I have another friend who just retired a couple of years ago, and she is very much on a growth type of thing. And she's getting to do things that she didn't have time for before.
Yeah. It's, so I'm looking at that. So I want to always continue to grow. And one of the things I find working for an organization is a lot of times it really hinders growth because they have so many rules and boxes that
you have to check.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You spend all your time checking boxes. I was reading an article yesterday that said we actually spend more time trying to communicate with each other at work than it would take to actually just go do the job.
Oh, yeah. And some people spend more time trying to get out of doing their job than they than it would take just to do their job.
Just to do their job.
Yeah.
Let's have a meeting about, which has nothing to
Let
do.
me tell you all the ways I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Can you not just do it?
Just do it. It's over.
It might help somebody if you did it.
Yes.
So many reasons to check boxes and not check boxes. So, yeah. So I was kind of curious with where we left off about how you were helping people with the church, and some people may be on drugs or they may be unhoused, and you weren't sober yourself.
No. I wasn't. To me, I thought that I was a heroin addict. So all the other getting stoned and drinking, I just didn't.
That wasn't drugs.
Yeah, that was not drugs. So that was my rationale for that.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess some people, well, now marijuana is a medication, so.
Yeah, I cursed that day many times, like, you're 40 years too late.
So, okay. Well, so how did it go after, like, how did you get sober? Do you want to talk about that?
Well, as I was getting started, next door to me, in the office, was Father Dick Virtue, and he was starting the Norman Alcohol Information Center. And so NAIC,
now
which
the
is
Virtue Center.
now the Virtue Center. And so we were like great friends, and we would talk and stuff. But I just kind of looked at it that he did the alcohol stuff, and I took care of the drug stuff. But then I would go to events, and there would be like an AA event or something. And I just felt really very at home with that, with the meetings or there would usually be conferences, but I just felt at home.
Like with the people, the philosophy.
With the people. I don't even know what they were saying. I remember way back when I was a kid, and I worked at Luby's restaurant. To help you, because I'll go nonlinear here. So I worked at Luby's restaurant in Denver. And so me and my friend, we would shampoo the carpet for extra money at night. And I remember one night that we delayed, we couldn't do it because they had this meeting. And so the meeting was like an AA meeting. I didn't know it at the time. But I remember the guy's story that was talking, and he said, he said, I knew I need to sober up because I came home one night and I was crawling to the bedroom, and I heard my wife say, get out, he's home. And so I jumped out the window. And so I go, that's pretty funny. And so even then I had like discomfort with being around like recovery.
Yeah. So then what happened for you to go, oh, I need to get sober?
I have no idea. So I went to, I just, I don't know. I don't know. But I just remember going into Father Pentecoste's office one day and saying, I think I need to go to treatment. So at that time, they were sending everybody to treatment because your insurance paid the whole thing.
So you just wanted to jump on the bus and go to treatment?
Well, that's what he said. That's what he said. He says, that Dick is trying to get everybody to go to treatment. And so then I started kind of outline.
Tell him what you were doing.
What I was doing, the drugs and stuff. He's going, okay, you need to go right now. And so like the next day, I was like in my hearse, driving to a treatment center in Cushing. And so I was still married at that time.
Okay. And then, so what happened there? Anything profound?
At treatment?
Yeah.
I started really understanding that, I had a disease, and
Because they make you do steps, or have
I
you
do steps. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did all the way to my 4th or 5th step. And so I did steps. And so I just really, like I bought it. I just thought, man, I'm alcoholic. And so that first step, I really think I bought. And so you didn't have to convince me and win. But I did have my ego, and I remember going to the director, because Father Virtue was a big deal in the state. And when he sent me to a treatment center, like people kind of knew. So I asked, could I have a meeting with the director after, like I was there for 2 weeks. And I go, Al, this is a nice place you have here, but I have some suggestions. Which was later confronted to me in one of my sessions. Like, they go, if we sent you out to empty the trash, you would come back with a board of directors and an entire business plan. So anyway, so I did that. Then I came back home, and my wife at that time and the 3 kids, they go, okay, guys, I should not have been getting high with you. This was not right. And so we're having no more booze in the house and no more drugs. At which point they properly booted me out.
Yeah, they're like, no, you got to go.
Yeah, and so I was gone. And so as crazy as that marriage was, I was really committed to it.
So was she using also? And that's
No,
part of
she
why?
was just a very codependent.
And so she didn't want to have to kick that out of the kids' lives and deal with all that.
Yeah.
You were just not going with the flow anymore over there.
No. And so, man, I was just heartbroken. And I was like, I remember sitting in my new apartment and just like wailing to God about why I'm here trying to do the right thing and they're there having a party. Oh, why is me, God? Blah, blah.
Well, you know what? Something I heard the other day was how lucky you are to have heartbreak early in life, because it teaches you things.
It did teach me things. So
then
it did teach me. I don't know what, but because it was like so, but it did. And one night I was just wailing, Mo, and then I fell asleep. Then there's a knock on my door. My stepson comes to the door, and he broke up with his girlfriend at this beer party they had at the house where I wasn't allowed anymore. And he started going, I want to kill myself because we broke up. And so I have a butter knife on the table, and he starts like stabbing himself with the butter knife. So I go, first of all, that is not going to get you where you want to go because it's a damn butter knife, but let's talk. So we talked for a couple hours. Then I said, let me drive you home. He goes, no, I'll drive. I go, well, at least let me follow you, because he was like really blitz drunk. Mm-hmm. And he goes, okay. So we start driving, and he gets in front of the police station and makes a U-turn and drives his car straight through the front window of the police station.
Oh my gosh. And you're just sitting there going, oh, why did I let him drive?
Yeah, but I wasn't saying anything. I was just, because he had knocked himself out. And then as was anybody heard, this policeman came out limping because I guess a cabinet he had knocked over hit him, and he kicked the door, but he was passed out. And so then I called my ex-wife and I said, Mike just drove through the police station. And she said, well, could you come get me? Because he had my car that he just wrecked. So I went to the house, and I went in, and it just had that smell of like stale beer, like the night after. Mm-hmm. And I realized, I go, man, really, I was being protected. And I was sitting there whining about not being. There
comes the lesson.
Yeah, I was whining about not being there, but really I was being protected. And so I was safe. And so that was a really big lesson for me about complaining about my situations in life.
Well, just, and just how you were being guided.
Yeah.
even if you didn't see it at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So then when did you start working with youth? Because you said you kind of got some experience with those kids.
Well, I actually ended up sobering up the semester before I graduated from college. And so I graduated from college, and then as soon as I did, I started working at NAIC
As a counselor?
as a counselor. And I had like a little youth group.
That was at NAIC, not the church?
At NAIC.
Okay.
And so I started, and I still kind of doing some stuff with youth at the church, but not full time. And then anyway, I started doing these groups. And so the NAIC had a strong connection because Father Virtue was an Episcopal priest to the Episcopal Church. And so he kept saying, I want you to go to the church camp and do drug and alcohol prevention for kids going through church camp. So the priest that was in charge, he wasn't a priest then, it was just Dwight. He said, for you to come and do that at our camp, you have to stay the whole week because I don't want somebody just coming in with the program and then leaving.
And Dwight was another church member?
He's the one that ran
director?
camp. He ran the Episcopal. So every week at church camp.
Was he at St. Crispin's?
Yeah, he was at St. Crispin's. They would be there all summer. And every week he would have 80, 90 kids show up. Mm-hmm. And he'd do camp for them from Sunday through Friday, Saturday.
I think that's pretty brilliant to put that in there because, you know, I don't think church camps do that.
It changed. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, they just focus on
God,
do all this good stuff and, you know, be perfect and pristine. And then what's happening out back is maybe not that.
It turned into, it was another, as you'd like to say, one of those life moments. So I went, and I think the first year, I think it was high school. And so they had me presenting on a Wednesday. So that means I was there for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And so there's just this flavor with camp that they start building community, especially with Dwight, because he would really be about everybody's a part of our community. Don't gossip. Something bothers you, somebody's doing, go talk to them. Don't. A
lot of principled.
Yeah, don't. I mean, just these things that we do. And I just start living in that for these 3 days. And then, so everybody that had ever presented to me, they did it very straight with a chalkboard and, a tie. And so that's the model that I was doing. And by the time that Wednesday came, I was so a part of that group and stuff. I just got up and played with those guys. I played at the guitar. I sang. I did jokes. I did skits. I mean, it was just off the charts in terms of me being myself in front of a group. And it changed how I present. I mean, how I present today, that started that Wednesday when I got in front of that group. And so that was so good that I ended up being there for the next 7 years, the whole summer.
Oh, wow.
And so I was we had people that drank and we'd have to call their parents and go, so-and-so brought booze. And so we would have these talks don't, this. And so there's kids that were kids then that I'm still close with today that I had an impact on during those 7
summer camps.
Yeah, although they're all middle-aged, are older people now.
Right. Wow. That's pretty amazing. You're comfortable within yourself enough to play with the kids, but in a presentative way, kind of. And then
I allowed myself to be there. Then the other thing, so this is the thing that started me on the work that I do today, because Dwight and I and the other priests like to expound a lot on the meaning of everything.
Right. Philosophy.
And so we kept going, this is so great because kids can come here for a week and it changes their life. I actually started taking people who I counseled at NAIC, and we would take them to camp for a week. And one of those girls, she ended up being like part of camp and going every week and stuff. And Dwight and them kind of like adopted her and stuff. And so I just go, this is really some magic that we can do in this 7 days. And so my question became to me, because not everybody can go to a camp to have this mountaintop experience. How do we take this mountaintop so that everybody can have that, so that you can bring that to the world? And that is the mission and vision that I have today. Taking that mountaintop experience, and you've been a part of those, creating those experiences, but we don't have to go to church camp to get that.
Right. So you started bringing that back to your life, like with the drug and alcohol counseling, but then like with jobs or with?
Well, then, yeah, drug and alcohol counseling.
Did you have like breakthrough moments with people during drug and alcohol counseling, or was it mostly?
Yeah, my drug and alcohol counseling, I started doing family groups, and really I built up a good clientele of people that I was seeing. And
was it one-on-one or group?
Groups. And it's funny, the model that therapists used then was a much more confrontive model. And if I could do anything different, it would be much gentler now about letting people process through stuff how they do versus jumping in their shit going.
But that's very interesting, because I feel like you do have a way of confronting people when they're going through something, but not in a demonstrative way.
Yeah, not like
but in a way of like getting to the core of something.
Yes. Thank you.
To help people realize things or see things, maybe. I don't know. So how did that, so that you did drug and alcohol counseling, and then how did you shift that into the community work?
Well, that'd almost be for our next show, because we're moving into the 30s. But what happened is that I actually, me and women, so I actually kissed this woman whose son was in my youth group. And then she went and told, like, she was in Al-Anon, so she went and told her sponsor. And so then, like,
where was this at?
That was at NAIC.
Oh, okay.
And so
you were having a moment with her. Can we cut this, Ben? So anyway, she told her sponsor.
And so then they like fired me because I really was very successful, but it caused some jealousy within the agency.
Oh, okay.
Because I was kind of breaking from a guy who had built up a large following of clients, and we didn't get along. And so when that opportunity to just go, get rid of it. Now I probably would have fought that, because really I didn't do anything.
You weren't doing that with a client.
No. And I hadn't really like it was really something I started doing. I go, oh man, I can't do that. And backed off of that completely. And but the good news, I ended up leaving there. But then that started setting me up for
other opportunities.
My next thing, which was I spent some years like doing assemblies at schools. And so really traveling around and speaking to high school auditoriums of kids. But we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that later. Did you feel like this type of work was a calling by this point?
No. I just think my ego was so freaking big. I just go, I'm good at this. I'm good.
Because you saw the following and the thing.
Yeah, and I just go, I'm good. And not realizing that, man, this is all a gift and I'm doing none of this. Mm-hmm. And I'm facilitating letting it happen, but I'm doing none of it. But I was like, oh, yeah, which is probably why they want to fire me from NAIC, because I just had this
attitude.
Like, I'm good, yeah. Put me in front of 2,000 students. I'm good. I'll kick ass. And so, I just was so I didn't. But I will tell you that even being in recovery, I think my attitude about that was kind of arrogant and ego. Yeah, look at me. I'm like,
rather than seeing other people have breakthroughs or being like selfless with it, it was like, I can entertain a crowd,
and I could stay sober and look at me, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. Which, looking at it now, you go, well, the majority of the population stays sober, so it's not that big
a
deal.
Why are you so special?
Yeah, and so yeah.
So, biggest takeaway from your 30s?
Really starting to see that I have like a huge ego, which is a very huge insecurity. And that my insecurity is covered up by these fancy things that I do, and but not really feeling settled with myself and comfortable with myself. And
so you didn't experience the thing where like you give yourself credit and then God takes away the ability, or it seemed like during my 20s, maybe it was in my 20s, where I would I'd get a big head about something and then it would all crash. And then I would start over and go, okay, I guess that wasn't me. I guess that was.
But it probably did. But what happened is I would just try and do more things. It almost became, that was like a drug. So, like I would do summer camp, and that was such a big high. And then so I'd always looking for, another group to go and entertain.
Impress.
Yeah, impress.
Well, thanks for being honest about all that. That was a humbling takeaway, I thought, to be able to see that.
It is a hard thing to live with sometimes, just because I feel like I've wasted a lot of time. But, the flip of that, I run into people all the time who tell me what an impact I had on their life. Mm-hmm. And I think I was a freaking mess.
Right. So your lessons were your lessons.
Yeah.
And they had their own,
And they had their own, and they just go.
And you were a part of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, look at my friend with Chris Kurt, who, I've been friends with him since he was in middle school. Mm-hmm. And he just thinks I'm very profound in his life. And to the point that we're still close today. And I just go, man, I was really a mess.
You were a mess, but but you were a blessing mess.
It was a blessing, man. They'll say that. If I did this when I'm 90, I'd probably go, oh my God, when I was in my 70s, what a mess I was.
It's that constant growth.
Yes,
gotta love it.
Man, you have this great way of asking questions. I almost enjoy after I tell you something, the questions you ask after, because it's so reflective and really, I mean, there's a couple of things there I go, God, I don't want to say this.
And you said we couldn't get any deeper. Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Byron. I guess we'll wrap her up. And
I guess.
Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Are we in the 30s now? So next we're in the 40s?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We're going through it.
It's getting harder.
Well, thanks.
I think that's when my hair fell out.
Is it?
In the 30s. That was an adjustment. Afro gone.
That would be an adjustment for me too. So I can feel that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
This podcast is brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast Platform. Thank you all for listening.